In a small village nestled between two great rivers, there lived a young girl named Amma. She was a beautiful and kind-hearted child, loved by all who knew her. Amma's life was not an easy one. She had lost her parents at a young age and was forced to live with her cruel and abusive aunt. Despite her hardships, Amma found solace in the rivers that flowed through her village. She would often sit on the banks, watching the water flow and listening to its gentle song. One day, while Amma was sitting by the river, she noticed something strange. The river seemed to be crying, its waters churning and foaming as if it were in pain. Amma was curious and decided to investigate. She followed the river, tracing its path through the village and into the heart of the forest. As she walked, the river's cries grew louder, and Amma began to feel a deep sense of sorrow. She realized that the river was not just a body of water but a living, breathing entity that felt the pain and suffering of all who lived along its banks. Amma continued to follow the river, and as she walked, she noticed that its waters were clearing. The river's cries were growing fainter, and Amma felt a sense of peace and calm wash over her. Suddenly, the river spoke to Amma in a voice that echoed in her mind.
Amma, I have been crying for you. I have seen your suffering, and I want to help you.
The river told Amma that it had the power to heal her wounds and bring her peace. But it also warned her that its gift would come at a great cost. Amma was torn. She desperately wanted to be free from her suffering, but she was afraid of the cost. The river sensed her hesitation and told her that the price would be her memories.
If you accept my gift, you will forget your past and all the pain it has brought you,
the river said. But you will also forget the love and the joy. You will be left with nothing but a sense of peace. Amma thought long and hard about the river's offer. She knew that forgetting her past would mean forgetting her parents and the love they had shared. In the end, Amma decided to accept the river's gift. She knew that it would be a difficult choice, but she felt that it was the only way she could find peace. As soon as Amma accepted the gift, the river's waters began to glow. Amma felt a sense of calm wash over her, and her memories began to fade away. Amma returned to her village, but she was not the same person. She was peaceful and calm, but she had lost her sense of identity. The villagers noticed the change in Amma and began to treat her differently. They would stare at her with a mixture of curiosity and suspicion. Amma's aunt, who had once been so cruel to her, now looked at her with a sense of sadness. She realized that Amma had lost something precious, something that could never be regained. The story of Amma and the river teaches us that peace and happiness come at a cost. Sometimes, we have to let go of the things that hurt us in order to move forward. But it also reminds us that our memories, both good and bad, make us who we are. One day, a royal procession made its way through the village. The king, a just and fair ruler, had heard about Amma's story and was determined to meet her. As the king approached Amma's hut, he noticed that she seemed different from the others. There was a sense of calm and peace about her that he had never seen before. "Greetings, young one," the king said, his voice booming through the village. "I am King Kofi. I've heard a lot about you and your unusual story." Amma looked up at the king, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. "Greetings, your majesty," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I am Amma." The king dismounted his horse and approached Amma. "I've heard that you've forgotten your past," he said, his eyes filled with curiosity. "Is this true?" Amma nodded, her eyes dropping to the ground. "Yes, your majesty. I accepted a gift from the river, and now I have no memories of my past." The king's eyes widened in surprise. "A gift from the river?" he repeated. What kind of gift could be so powerful? Amma looked up at the king, a small smile playing on her lips. "The gift of peace, your majesty," she said. "The river took away my memories, but it also took away my pain." The king nodded thoughtfully, his eyes never leaving Amma's face. "I see," he said. "And are you happy now, Amma?" Amma's smile grew wider, and she nodded enthusiastically. "Yes, your majesty, I am at peace." The king nodded, a look of satisfaction on his face. "I'm glad to hear that, Amma," he said. "But I must admit, I'm also curious. What was your life like before you forgot?" Amma's eyes clouded over, and she shook her head. "I don't know, your majesty," she said. "I don't remember." The king nodded thoughtfully, his eyes never leaving Amma's face. "I see," he said. "Well, Amma, I think I'll have to visit you again soon. I want to learn more about this gift of peace." Amma smiled, feeling a sense of gratitude towards the king. "Thank you, your majesty," she said. "I would be honored to have you visit me again." As the king turned to leave, Amma called out to him. Your Majesty, she said. The king turned back to her, a questioning look on his face. Yes, Amma. Amma's eyes sparkled with mischief. Be careful, Your Majesty, she said. The river has a way of giving gifts that you don't always want. The king's eyes widened in surprise, and he laughed out loud. I'll keep that in mind, Amma, he said. Thank you for the warning. As the king rode away, Amma couldn't help but feel a sense of wonder. She had never seen anyone like the king before, and she couldn't wait to see what would happen next. The river's secret revealed. Days turned into weeks, and Amma couldn't shake off the feeling that the king's visit had left her with. She felt a sense of restlessness, a feeling that there was something more she needed to do. One day, she decided to return to the river, hoping to find some answers. As she walked along the riverbank, she noticed that the water seemed to be calling to her.
Amma, why have you returned?
The river asked, its voice echoing in her mind. I've been feeling restless, Amma replied. I feel like there's something more I need to do. The river chuckled. You are indeed special, Amma. I have been waiting for you. Amma's eyes widened in surprise. Waiting for me? Why? The river's waters seemed to ripple with excitement. Because, Amma, you have a crucial role to play in the fate of this kingdom. Amma's mind reeled with questions. What do you mean? What role could I possibly play? The river's voice grew serious.
The king is in danger, Amma. A dark force threatens to destroy the kingdom, and only you can help him.
Amma felt a surge of fear mixed with determination. I'll do it, she said. I'll help the king. The river's waters seemed to nod in approval. I knew I could count on you, Amma. But first, you must remember your past. Amma's eyes widened in shock. My past, but I thought I'd forgotten it forever. The river's voice grew gentle. You did, Amma, but I can give it back to you. Are you ready to remember?